What is this, your first time hosting or what?
Oh
Grazie
my
mille,
god.
grazie Federico. Grazie mille, Federico. All together now.
You are the voices this guy is saying.
Grazie mille, Federico.
Federico. That's all I know.
How's it going, boys? How's it going? Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, from wherever you are tuning in from. My co-host Chip and Chin are back. The duo are back. The killer duo, the best duo on YouTube, on Spotify, on Snitch, on Twitch, whatever you want to call it. It's all about Chip and Chin, and we are joined today. We are joined today from our South American correspondent. No, it's not Tim Vickery or Tom Vickery. It's our very own Jake. Jake, I'm going to come to you first. How are you today? You've got a big booming smile. I love those teeth of you. It's the first time I've seen you smile and I've seen those teeth. Because you're smiling on the first time on our channel. You must be happy today. We did confirm the signing of Federico Chiesa. How are you, my man?
All is well. Everything is good. Sure you guys heard some of the latest reports on Varela. That's some more good news. So I don't know how legitimate that story is, but I'm sure we'll get into it.
Yep. Gina, so you got a nice buttoned up shirt today. I know you were. I know you had a show today which you hosted with Alice, I believe, a Man United fan.
Yeah.
Went really well. If anyone hasn't seen that yet, please go head over off this show and tune in and watch that. Also, want to plug Asim's going to hate me for it, but I want to plug Asim's and Wiki's Tactical Tuesday. Great show. Go and watch it. A little deep dive into the game against Brentford, different patterns of play. They love that little test board, draft board, whatever they want to call it. But it was a great show, by the way. I did tune in, Asim. But go ahead and guys, make sure you give that a listen and like and subscribe if you haven't. Always, guys, we're giving you content and content each and every day. The chip is back from the UK. I done my business at Anfield. I met the Henrys, Linda included. We got business done. Mamash Valley is done. Chiesa is done. Will be done tomorrow. Helicopters are flying all over the shop. But Chine, how are you today, my brother?
I'm buzzing, man. I'm gonna be honest, Avi. Finally getting Chiesa over the line for me is a huge signing. Look, I know it's probably people will say that, you know what, we didn't get a DM yet, or a centre back positions that we probably needed addressing. But for me, we just signed arguably a player that's good enough, that's going to be hopefully back to his best and become world class again. Look, we can only be happy, man. Having a front six of having a front six of that caliber just tells you that we've arguably got the best front six in world football, arguably. But how can we not be happy, man? Liverpool fans should be happy today in terms of we've got the Chiesa in. Yes, there's still time left. There's time to go and really, and we're seeing links to Varela now at Avi as well. So why not? We go and make this happen tomorrow with Varela, boys, and we go into the big game on Sunday with our chests out, heads up, and we say, okay, City, Arsenal, here we are, we're ready to go.
I want to coming back to Chiesa, Gina. I know you've been. I know you. I think everyone involved, but obviously you have a strong affiliation with Italians. You dated one back in the 90s. You're on Federico Chiesa. His dad could play a bit, couldn't he, in the 90s? Enrico
He
Chiesa.
was he was really good, Avi. I actually really liked his dad. A brilliant footballer. I think he started off at Sampdoria. He was at Fiorentina. A brilliant footballer, a proper striker. And back then, if those don't know, Italian football was the pinnacle of European football. It was the hardest league in the world. It was the best league in the world, and that was seen as the Premier League. So fair play to his dad. Look, we saw the goal that he scored at the Euros. I actually watched that game live, just showing you guys my age. When the Chiesa
Anfield
scored
as well. Yeah,
at Anfield,
yeah.
at Anfield in Euro '96, and yeah, look, getting Federico over the line, man, is we really have signed an unbelievable forward who fits slot system, who fits Liverpool. Just the way he spoke about how much he's wanted to come to Liverpool, how he understood the history, he understood the fans, he understood that this club is about going and winning trophies, and he's a winner. And I think that's one of the biggest things that I can say about him is I believe he's a winner and he's direct. He fits Liverpool and Liverpool fits him. And I've been crying out that we need to have pace in this side. Yes, I wanted Anthony Gordon. One of the reasons why, because he has electric pace. this guy has abundance of pace, and you know, people will say that, oh, he's lost a yard. He hasn't lost a yard. We've seen the numbers in terms of he's the fastest played in one of the fastest players at Euro 90. Sorry, in the recent Euros. So what an unbelievable player that we've got. If we can get him to 80% of how good he was before, we have signed a world beater.
I want to come on to Chiesa, to you, Jake. He was pretty much the pin-up boy, the star boy of Italy 3-4 years ago. He was playing for Fiorentina, and he was being linked with everyone. 80 million at the time. There was talk of 80 million euros. There was really strong talk that Liverpool had actually entered discussions with Fiorentina for Chiesa. Wins the Euros. They obviously beat England in the Euros. Mancini's Italy. He gets his move to Juventus, which is kind of the stepping stone for every sort of Italian growing up, or that dream move to Juventus, you know, where you're going to be fighting for titles, where you will be competing in the Champions League. Gets that move, and then it kind of goes a bit sideways. He gets a nasty ACL injury. It's taken him a bit of time to come back. We know that with ACLs, with his age as well, 26, it does tend to take some time to get back to your best. 2 years. The good thing is he hasn't lost his speed. His short spurts, though, they have slightly come slower than prior to ACL, but his long distance, where we've seen some of his goals where he runs for like 30, 40 yards, his speed has remained the same. I think it's 35 to 36 kilometers per hour. So he's still one of the fastest wingers, if we can call him that, in the Italian league. What do you make of this signing? He's not here to be a stopgap. He's not here to be no one's second fiddle, if that's what everyone thinks. He's here to make his mark, and we have had some bad luck with Italians. Very few and far between in general in the Premier League football era have Italians really done it. You know, we can talk about the Balotellis, the Zolas, but, you know, we've had sort of Desena, Aqualine that didn't do it. You know, what do you make of this signing? Are you excited? And it's a no-brainer, wasn't it? It was a great opportunity. And at that money, it's pretty much a freebie, isn't it, in the modern game?
Yeah, listen, I mean, it's going to be hard for somebody to put together a strong argument for why this is a poor signing, if you want me to be honest with you. For the price tag and the caliber of player that we're getting, it's a very low risk, high reward type of signing. I think what a lot of people are forgetting is exactly what you touched on. When you're dealing with an ACL injury, more times than not, you're dealing with a 2-year recovery period. And I don't mean recovery until you get back onto the pitch. I'm talking about recovery until you get back to 100% of the player that you were prior to that injury. We can look at our very own Virgil as somebody who tore his ACL, and his first season back after the injury, he looked a shell of his former self, and it sparked many questions for people wondering if, you know.
I know, Jake, I think his first season back, he was actually really good. I think he was fine. It was the season where we tried to go for the quad. The unfortunate thing for that season was he didn't get enough rest, but I thought he was imperious again that season. I think, and this could be a delay, it can happen. Talking to a few people in the medical sort of trade and departments, you can have like a delayed reaction. I think his delayed reaction, Virgil's, and not sure it could have been loss of form, was the season we finished outside of the Champions League a couple of seasons ago, where fatigue because of this previous season, the 21-22 season, where he played 53 games after a long layoff of the ACL. I believe it was that season, the 22-23 season, where we saw the effects of Virgil.
I don't think he was at his best the season after his injury. But that's an argument for another conversation. Regardless, the point being is more times than not, somebody isn't at their very best the first season back from an ACL injury. It usually is that second season where you start to see glimpses, if not a player returning to full form. So as it pertains to Chiesa in this situation, we're starting to see glimpses of the player that he was prior to the ACL injury. For the price tag, for the caliber player that we're getting, it's a fantastic signing. This is a player that I'm telling you guys right now, the fans are going to absolutely love the very first moment this player hits the field for us. He is the epitome of exactly the type of winger that Slot is looking for. Somebody that can pick up the ball, go at a defender, beat a defender 1v1 on the wing, and produce, whether it's a goal or an assist, a chance creating action off of the wing. And he's exactly that type of player. We don't, as been mentioned, we don't have a ton of pace in our forward line. He immediately puts pace into the team, which is needed. When you're dealing with Diaz and potentially Chiesa, we got two wingers now on both sides of the field that can pick up the ball and go at a defender. And that's what the manager likes. That's what Slot wants in his wingers. We don't have many other players in this team that are capable of doing that, if any. I think it's a fantastic signing, as I mentioned. I think he's going to hit the ground running. If I'm being honest with you, for £10 million, it's impossible not to like this signing. As you mentioned, he's not here to play second fiddle to anybody. They're talking about him playing on the right wing, which of course is Mo's position. He's not going to be able to take that position away from him. However, as it pertains to all the other forwards on this team, he's going to come in and fight for a place, whether that's on the left wing, whether that's time on the right wing, as a substitute, whatever the case might be. He's going to find his place in this team, and it's going to happen quickly. So, as it pertains to the rest of these forwards on this team right now, the kind of bar has been set. They see what's happening. They know the depth that we have in attack, and they're going to have to be on top of their game if they want to see playing time on the field. So we have a very, very strong attack. That's not the issue, as everyone in the comments is discussing right now. We have other needs that need to be addressed immediately if this team really, really wants to contend. But if you're talking about a player that can come in and make an immediate impact, no question in my mind, we're going to get that from Chiesa.
I just want to come to this point. Great points there, Jake. But from Unperfection, sold Cavalier for twice what we bought Chiesa for. Chiesa is also apparently taking the same 81k wages here that he got in Juve, and someone with experience at being really good, worth it. Gina, the great trait about Chiesa is, look, I'm going to be straightforward. No jokes on this sort of point. No banter here. I am a bit skeptical, Gene, whether he can rediscover that form pre-ACL.
You're skeptical because of what? Because I don't agree with you.
Am I allowed to finish?
You can finish. Go ahead. I would like to know why you're skeptical.
Thank you. The Italian league and the Premier League is a different kettle of fish. First and foremost, the Premier League is a lot faster. He is quick. He has come back from his ACL not looking the same player. And yet, again, like I've said, that can take time. That could take this year. I think his third real year from his ACL. We could really go. Maybe he needed a move. There was discussions yesterday I saw on another podcast. Great points. They said that Chiesa is made for the Premier League. He's more suited to the Premier League in the way that we play fast-edged football, where in the Italian league it's a lot more slower. Keane, I want to come to you because a great trait on Chiesa, where I love the player, is he's both-footed. But he's so suited to that right-hand side because he loves cutting in, and he's got a hell of a left foot as well as his right. And the beauty thing of he is where Elliot doesn't give us when he's played out on the wing. Sometimes, as we saw it against Brentford, he's got the ability to go outside naturally. Salah doesn't like going out on the outside, but Chiesa, he will torment you until he gets the better of you on the outside, isn't it?
He's a relentless winger, isn't he? I mean, that's what you get with him. He's a guy that will go at you every opportunity. You mentioned he's got two really, really good feet. His decision making is really good. His XG in terms of assists, even last season, was like 8, even though he got 2 or 3. That proves to you that the strikers at Juve weren't good enough to put his chances away. He's an unbelievable forward who's got every single attribute. And look, I can't wait to see this lad play. And I tweeted today saying this guy hasn't come here to make up the numbers. He hasn't come to make up them. He's come to take over. And that's exactly what I see in Chiesa. And look, this guy, if he can get to anywhere near the level that he has already shown us, and he's come back to a team that is going through a bit of a transition under a negative manager who played him predominantly as a 2 forward type of role. He is made for slot. That wing is the way we play with our wingers, 1-on-1. This guy is going to hurt every single team that he plays against. He's got the pace, he's got the trickery, he's got the know-how, he's got the nous. And you mentioned them two, both feet. He's got a sweet left foot on him. He can hit the ball in both angles. He's good enough to play left or right. I mentioned yesterday, don't be surprised he plays that good and he takes over the left-hand side. I know he's coming over to play on the Salah side, but don't be surprised he plays that good, he takes over the left-hand side because he is that good of a footballer. And you can just imagine, you mentioned Harvey Elliott. And when Harvey Elliott comes on with 20 minutes to go, on that left hand side, for Salah, it sort of changes the dynamic. Now you've got a player that's going to come in who's going to cause absolute mayhem to any left-sided fullback, because he's just going to go atom. Just imagine a fully fit Chiesa coming on with 20 minutes to go against these English fullbacks. He's going to cause havoc. He really is. And we've seen our performances, how they've differed from the first half to the second half. We've been relentless in the second half this season so far. So look, we can only really go by what we think right now. Their ceiling is really, really high. He will come in and show how good he is. I have no doubts that this guy, I really don't have any doubts. I think this guy is going to bang, and we are going to see. We're going to look back in 2 years' time and think this guy was probably one of the best signings in the club's history, in terms of when you look at the fee, when you look at how good he is, and what his ceiling is going to be. For 10 million quid, you just simply can't go wrong.
I agree with you 100%. So my question remains: why do you think that he's not going to hit the ground running? And this is for Avi.
These just all based on a lot of the Italians that have come over in recent years, Jake, that haven't hit the ground running, that have taken time. Aquilani, El Principe, when he signed from Roma, we thought, this guy's going to be just a little bit better than Aquilani because he can move around the pitch. He's been dubbed this sort of Totti, De Rossi hybrid. He came, had injuries, didn't settle. Balotelli, although it was a wild signing from us back then, everyone was ecstatic when he signed. Guys, we are going to address the Varela. I am just waiting for a message from a very reliable source at the club who will be giving me a message, but I am going to address the Varela talk. Sarib is in the comments, petulant little kid. We will come back to that soon. Sarib, don't troll, please. I will block you. Bashi says, yes, the boys, 320 people watching, only 55 likes. Come on, guys. Show your love to the best Liverpool content around. Smash the like button. Thank you so much. Thinking my other phone is bashing off. Guys, we will release some news. Let's see what happens. Back to that question, Jake. I am a bit skeptical because, look, he was a brilliant player before the ACL. He was worth 60, 70 million. And now, he's worth 10 million. It's what is it? The low risk, high reward kind of signing. I hope it works. I want it to work. Has he got it in it to work? 100%. He's got all the attributes. Slot with a bit of development, a bit of coaching. And like people have said in previous podcasts, he's more suited in the comments. Hold on, guys. Hold on. I have got a phone call. Hold on. Hello? Hello? Hello?
John Dennis put the phone down on him.
Hold on, boys. Hold on. This is absolutely stupid. Hold on. Hello?
I agree with Ashman.
Hello?
I put yourself on mute. Yeah.
Come
I'm
on.
actually with Ash. In terms of, have you mentioned all the players that have played for
Asim.
Liverpool, Jake? None of them have been Liverpool standard, really. You look at the likes of De Sena. Nah. Aquilani was probably the only one I thought, because I really liked I was actually really happy when we signed Aquilani, thinking, Alonso replacement, he might really do it. But the rest of them were never to that sort of level. This kid is the best of the lot.
Argument. It's an absolutely lazy argument that
Ash says, sorry guys, I will address what happened. Avi, think of Di Canio, Zola, Ravanelli. Ravanelli was one season wonder at Middlesbrough, left. Di Canio, good shout, good player. Zola was incredible. De Matteo, Carboni, Benito Carboni was a good player. Vialli he didn't set the world alight at Chelsea. I know he was towards the end of his career. Look, those players you mentioned, they were the 90s players. The modern players that have come through post 2000 or between the period of 2010 to 2023, Italians don't travel well. They do like staying at home. There's no denying that. But he's a player who is probably more suited because he's quick, because he's pacey, because he likes the game fast-paced. It is probably more suited that he will come here. Yes, Jake, look, don't get me wrong. I want it to work. I think there's... I always love the sort of the romance around
concerns, then I would agree with you, but you don't. So I'm just going to assume that he's going to hit the ground running.
No, I hope he does. I really hope he does. I hope he can play on the left. I hope if Diaz ain't performing, he can come on the left. He can go on the right. I think there's another position he can play. It's going to be a wild one. Not as wild as your shouts, Jake, about having Szoboszlai as left back. I can see Chiesa doing that Szoboszlai role through the middle. He does like picking up the ball from deep. I've seen it for Italy. I've seen it with Fiorentina. Not so much at Juventus. He can pick up the ball from deep. I can see him do that little roll in behind the front three. But
Oh
that's
no,
just
no, sorry. I just seen Sarib's comment. Gene told me Chiesa was better than Messi, and Sarib told me Arsenal was going to win the league last season. No comment.
he's doing.
And Champions
He's
League.
been
He
on
can
something,
deny
isn't
all he
he?
wants. He told me
He's
they were winning Champions League as well.
Gerd, you were right. It was actually Asim on the phone, but he wasn't speaking. I don't know why. His interview, though, Jim, his video interview, um, looked very excitable, didn't he? He wants to be here. There's a bit of a passionate desire to succeed in England, from the playing journey, from having his wife playing the You Never Walk Alone on his iTunes playlist. He desperately wants to succeed. He wants to prove. I think there's a lot of critics. A lot of critics back home in Italy, I think, but he does want to prove a lot of people wrong. And like I said, and like Jake reiterated, he's not here to play second fiddle.
100%. He gets it, and that's the key. You know, you get certain players that want to come. You just can just. I've never seen a massive smile on the way he was holding the shirt and looking at it with a massive beaming smile. Just, you know, he really wants to come here, and he really wanted to be here, and that's a massive plus for us, because you know sometimes you get players that will come. You think they might come for the money. You think they might come for whatever other reasons. But the way he came across today, he was dying to come here. He was dying to be here. He mentioned, you know, when I told my dad that Liverpool were in for me, my dad just said, "Look, get it, go. That club is made for you. Go, get out there." So it just goes to show that he wants us, we want him. It is a match sort of made in heaven. And honestly, guys, this guy will prove how good he is. His interview and just everything about today and about Chiesa. What is there not to love about him? From what we've seen so far, and honestly, I just can't wait for the lad to get started. Because if he
I hope we get
starts,
to see him on Sunday, even if it's just for 3 minutes.
honestly, even if on Sunday, imagine being in the away end, he comes on and gives us 5 minutes. Just imagine and just imagine how he would turn up in that game for just 10 minutes. What he would do for that in that 10 minutes, he would run his socks off to do whatever he could, and just I don't want to imagine if he scored what I'd do, but anyway, yeah, that's for another. That's
You
for
don't want to
another
know
day.
what you would do, Gina. Definitely. I hope it doesn't involve pulling your pants down. But Jake,
Yeah, shut the hell up, man.
did you get a chance to see his interview? What did you think? The way he came across. What were your thoughts?
If I'm being 100% honest with you, I don't put too much stock into these interviews. Obviously, it's better to have a player that's smiling and that's appreciative to be here. But at the end of the day, nobody remembers these interviews. It's whether this guy's going to come in and bang or he's not going to bang is what he's going to be remembered by. I mean, Klopp said it absolute best. I don't remember the exact quote that he gave, but at the end of the day, it basically doesn't matter what you think of him when he enters, is what you think of him when he leaves. And the same holds true
Well said,
for
Jay. Well said.
Chiesa. So I don't put any stock into these interviews. He's happy to be here. That's wonderful. I just hope he can play in the Premier League. And I think he can, but he's got to prove it. So we're going to find out quickly.
Gina, there's another people want to mention it, and I think that's enough for Chiesa. Welcome to Liverpool Football Club. Hopefully he gets to start, or he gets to come on at Old Trafford, get some minutes in a good situation where we're winning, and give him a 10-15 minute run out, and then let's see where it goes from there. But look, that's quite the six, isn't it, Gene? Gakpo, Diaz, Nunes, Jota, Salah, Federico, Chiesa. Can we keep all six happy?
Why not? There's more than enough games to go around. You saw the Champions League format today. You saw the fixtures that have come out. You know, there's League Cup games, there's FA Cup games. We've seen over the last few years Liverpool there's a tendency that we do pick up injuries to our players, especially in the forward line. Jota, with the likes of Jota, even Salah picked up an injury last season. And even Darwin. So look, there's going to be the times where people are going to drop off the form, all that type of stuff. It just gives you every single forward. There's no room for error now. Every single position in that front line has two players good enough to start. You look at the right hand side. Salah was the only player good enough to play in that position before. Nobody else was even good enough. Nobody was half as good enough to play there. I'm not saying that Salah's not going to turn it on this season, but just having another person there, a player that's good enough to come in and challenge, you know, look, in any position, if another player comes in, you increase 5-10%. You want to give it a bit more because you know your position might be on the line. But look, we can only be happy with what we've got. The all six, that's a slot problem, not my problem and your problem, Avi. He can deal with them. He wanted them. We've got him in now. He can deal with it. But for a Liverpool, Avi, what a front six to have, man. Now, we heard over about we had an unbelievable five. We had everything in our five in terms of our attackers. Imagine adding a player like, or somebody saying Piers, for fuck's sake, has just shut down the Varela's rumors. Anyway, right, we're looking at what's his name? JJ, the guy's lost me now. Bloody hell, James Pierce, man, you set me off. Anyway, I was mentioning Chiesa, a front six, something in terms of a crazy, somebody that had crazy pace, and this is what Chiesa has abundance of. And look, I honestly can't wait for for him to start and really go for it. But in terms of Avi, look, I haven't really come to you. I know, look, you're a big fan of Chiesa as well, and especially what do you think in terms of the front five and six? You're always asking the questions, but you must be like over the moon in terms of what we have up there right now.
It's the word, isn't it? Embarrassment of riches, isn't it? That we have that six. I think in world football, name me a better six than that. Name me a better, Gakpo, who's got a point to prove. Darwin Nunes, who will be itching, he's got a point to prove. Diaz got a point to prove. Salah, he wants to prove to people that at 32, he ain't slowing down. Jota wants to have an injury-free season this season. He wants to be clear and score goals centrally. And then you've got Chiesa, who's got another point to prove. We've got six hungry forwards, Lions, who've got a point to prove. And I think Slot, he will rotate them. He will rotate them correctly. He'll rotate them as in fit of game day with Champions League. We'll talk about that draw as well. Carabao Cup, West Ham at home. The FA Cup, once that goes into when that comes into play in January, and the league, he will rotate that six very well. I think there's goals in abundance in all six. We can make changes if we're struggling for a goal. Each forward has different attributes to one another. Jota's your fox in the box. Nunes, if you need a bit of chaos, standing up against the defenders, you've got him. You've got Chiesa, who can go left or right, can go on the left, can go on the right. If Diaz or Gakpo on the left are not working, you've got Diaz, who's a bag of tricks, who just needs to put consistent numbers up. And then you've got the likes of Chiesa coming in. You've got a six there that they will terrorize the best of the best team. That Real Madrid game at home, it will be absolutely brilliant to see who he goes with, because look, we're a match for anybody. I know some people have already sort of dismissed us against Madrid in the first game of the Champions League, but we will come on to that draw. But I think it's an area that we don't need to worry about, touch wood, over the next sort of 2-3 years. Midfield, however, is an issue. We're going to come swiftly to that. There's been a lot of talk about Alan Varela this evening, and the latest that I have is we know what the release clause is. It's about 70 million euros. Now it's up to Liverpool to pay it all in one go. Will they do it? I'm not too sure. I did speak 2-3 weeks ago that there were slight inquiries over Fabian Ruiz. That was an initial loan. That's been now mooted. I don't think there'll be a deal there. But with Alan Varela, let's see what happens tomorrow. I do believe we will get someone in. I do believe that.
Yeah, look, Varela.
One midfielder. Is he the right? Is he another right fit for you, Gene? Because I'm not sold on Varela, as in he's not the slot type of player that we want. We know what Slot wanted. We know he wanted Zubimendi.
I think he fits, man. I think he fits. Yeah. I think he fits Liverpool. I think the way, from what I've seen of him, I think he does fit. That's it. Does he improve to the next level? Is he a Zubimendi type of signing? Maybe not. Maybe a slightly a bracket low. But the thing with me is, Avi, look, I'm more that if Gravenberch gets injured, do we have enough there? We don't have that. So you definitely need somebody good enough, because if something goes wrong, then what do? We can't rely on a player that's just played 3.5 games in a position, right? I'm counting the preseason games as well. 3.5 games in a position, in a new position for him, and then for him to play there and then expect him to play 30-40 games. It just doesn't make sense. It just doesn't sit right with me, and I don't think it ever will. But I'm happily give him a chance to prove me wrong. But at least have something there. At least have a backup in case something goes wrong. We've seen Gravenberch has picked up injuries in the past. He picked up a couple last year, and the last thing we want is us to be sat here left short again. And I know people have, Alan Varela. I know somebody's just, I think people are messaging saying that, oh, James Pearce has shut it down, all that type of stuff. But James Pearce did say that we're not after that goalkeeper.
Let me
And
clarify
then,
that, just not to defend Pierce, but what Pierce said, to be precise, is we're not getting a keeper this season, were the exact words that he used. So in his defense, the keeper's not coming in this season. So to use that as an argument for why he could be wrong, I think is a weak argument. Not to say he's wrong on Varela or not, but people are
no,
not reading
Jake, man. Look,
his
if
information
it
on the
said
keeper
something like
side.
we're not gonna get him a goalkeeper, it was just weird that you would say this season when the noise up before that, Jake, was we're not getting him for this season anyway.
I don't
If the
remember the
noise
timing
was
of
if
the
the noise
information.
was over that, well, you know what, we're getting a keeper, but he's coming next season. But then he tweets, we're not getting one this season. We all know we're not going to get one this season. We already knew he's going to be for the season after anyway. So what's the point tweeting that you're not going to get him for this season? We already know that.
I
You
don't
know.
know if that news was out at that point in time or not. I don't remember the timeline of the
Just
information.
want to read out 3 comments that I did start. One was from Zach, breaking Liverpool wanting to make a move and sign Alan Varela, but couldn't. FC Porto declared him non-transferable in this market. That's from CL Merlo. Another one from Cathal Robinson. Thank you for tuning in. Liverpool have made a formal offer to Porto for Alan Varela. The first communication to find out his situation had already been made in April. The Argentine duo is coming in the red. And then Roger Khalik. That was.
He didn't have a source.
No. Raja, the source is probably mine. Raja Khalik, LFC have made a formal offer to Porto for Alan Varela. The first communication to find out his situation had already been made in April from Louis Fregosi. I think it's going to be
really good Italian now.
I'm very fluent in Italian, Jay. Come on. I think it's going to be mayhem in the next 24 hours, gentlemen. I really think we're going to see all sorts popping up. Do I think we can get Alan Varela? Yes. Will Hughes, like Mohammed Naveed has said, will he box it off? I'm not sure. He's saying that he will box it off overnight. Let's see. Saif Haider has said James Pearce declined. Look, James Pearce, I respect him a lot. He's been on our channel many a time, but I just think we should see what's happening. I think this club, no one knew about Federico Chiesa a few days ago, including myself, and I'm the biggest ITK chancer, by the way, that's out there on social media, right? No one had a clue. Okay, so let's see what happens. Anyone that does think they have got a clue, they're fucking off their rocker. Let me tell you. Guys, swiftly moving on now a little bit to the Champions League draw. Jake, I'm going to come to you. I have it. I'm not sure if this is the order that they will play in, but just letting you know, we have Real Madrid at home, Leipzig away, Bayer Leverkusen at home, Milan away, Lille at home, PSV away, Bologna at home, and Girona away. I think that's a fantastic draw. I don't know what you even call it. Is it a group that we're in even? I find those fixtures fascinating. I think the last 5, Milan, Lille, PSV, Bologna, Girona, I think we'll get the better of them. The tricky ones, obviously, Real Madrid at home, which we haven't overcome in the last sort of 5-6 years under Klopp, but under Slot it may be different. Leipzig's always a great tie, seeing the array of talent that Marco Rose is developing out there. I'm not sure if he's still their manager, actually. I could be wrong on that. And then obviously Xabi Alonso, the romantic tie, isn't it? Xabi coming home for Leverkusen. What did you make of the draw? Do you see us comfortably going through? And explain to me the format, because I think you're more educated on the format than I am.
I'll try. I can't guarantee that I'm 100% familiar with it, but I'll try. First and foremost, let me say that the actual draw itself, while you're sitting there watching, I don't know if you guys are actually watching, but they pick a team from pot 1, then you find out which team that is, and then Ronaldo's sitting there and he just hits the little button, and then the entire draw for that club comes out. For me, I thought it was absolutely fantastic. I thought it was incredible drama. I thought it was really entertaining. The first time I saw it, I think City was the first team to get selected. When the button was hit and all the teams came up on the screen, I was in shock. I had no idea what to expect. It's obviously the first time we've seen it. I think they did a great job with the new format of the actual draw. I thought that was really, really entertaining. As far as the draw that we received, the entire time I was hoping we were going to get Madrid. I didn't care if it was home. I didn't care if it was away. Once I saw that we got Madrid, I was over the moon. I'm with you. I think the draw that we got was absolutely fantastic. And I thought so because we're playing some mouth-watering fixtures. Not only are we getting Madrid, as you mentioned, we're getting Milan away, an opportunity for us to go to San Siro. That's incredible. I've been there already. I hope to go again. We're getting Leverkusen at home. I don't even have to talk about how juicy that fixture is. And then we got Leipzig away. So for me, the draw that we got from all of the teams in the entire Champions League, I thought we got the best draw. And I'm not talking about the best draw as far as the easiest, because it's definitely not the easiest. It's the best draw, in my opinion, in regards to the most entertaining fixtures. Listen, if you ask me, our team is strong. We don't have to be worried about any of these teams in world football. I'm not afraid of Madrid at home. I'm not sitting here guaranteeing that we're going to beat them, but I'm not afraid of them. I'm not afraid of going to the San Siro. I'm not afraid of Leverkusen coming to Anfield. So while we do have one of the most difficult list of fixtures, in my opinion, it's the best that we could have gotten because I want to see this team play against the best teams in Europe because that's how confident I am in this squad and our managers. So for us to finish in the top 8, I think it's going to be a challenge. I'm not sitting here saying that we're not going to finish in the top 8, but even if we don't finish in the top 8, the way that it works is teams that are 9 through 24, it's one table. There are no groups. Teams that finish 9 through 24 enter a playoff, a head-to-head playoff. I'm confident that even if we were to finish outside of the top 8, which I don't think will happen, but if it does happen, we're going to go through at a bare minimum.
Is it one league table then?
It's one table.
Oh.
One table. Top 8 advance to the round of 16. 25 through the rest of the table, I don't even remember how many teams are in there, 36 or whatever it is, are eliminated. And 9 through 24, I don't know how it's set up. It's probably a draw if I'm not mistaken. I don't know exactly. But 9 through 24, there's a head-to-head playoff for the remaining 8 teams to go into the knockout stage. So I don't think we have to worry about not making it to the knockout stage. Making it to the top 8 with this fixture list might be difficult. I think we should still be able to make the top 8. But even if we don't, I'm confident in a head-to-head playoff, we'll beat any of the teams that we're going to be potentially matched up against. I'm very happy with this list of fixtures that we got.
I think we comfortably make the top 8, Jake. Comfortably.
It's possible, absolutely. I wouldn't be surprised one bit. I'm just saying, worst case scenario, if we finish 9 through 15 or whatever it is, I'm not worried about playing somebody head to head.
Gina, is that old foe of ours, Real Madrid? Some are already writing us off first game. You'd be pretty stupid to write us off. It's a home tie at Anfield, plenty to prove.
Not the first game, just to be clear.
So it's not the my apologies.
Let's come down on Saturday.
My apologies, Jake. My apologies. That's why you're good at this kind of wiki. You should stick to knowledge, football knowledge. Okay, none of this outtake or intakes, whatever. Gina, Real Madrid. That's the game that everyone's looking forward to, and Xabi Alonso's Leverkusen. But Real Madrid first and foremost.
Yeah, look,
one needs to get over the line, doesn't it?
Yeah, look, Real Madrid, we know they're an unbelievable football club, probably the biggest club in the world after Liverpool. And that's you got to give their dues. They've proven over many years that if there's a love affair with the European Cup more than Liverpool, it's probably them. They're an unbelievable side. They've got an unbelievable team, and to be fair, look, they've had the better of us over the last few occasions. I think we should have been in the Champions League final last time, but we didn't. They managed to get another one over us. But this is another tie. We go in there confident. So many of the players that were there last time, they're a different sort of side. Anybody that has Liverpool off against playing at Anfield against any side in Europe has lost the plot. That's just the way it is. Us, the likes of Messi, Barcelona, the greatest teams that have come here in the past, they've come here, they've been turned over. Because if there's one side that can turn it up on a European night, it's Liverpool. And to give up and throw the towel in before the game's even started, say, oh, they're gonna smash us and they're gonna beat us. You don't understand Liverpool Football Club. You don't understand what Anfield's about on a European night, and you don't understand the history of this football club because we do the unthinkable many a times. We are getting whacked. There's comments we are getting whacked. Good luck to you, mate. You might be getting whacked, but we ain't getting whacked. We will go there confident. We'll show them the respect that they deserve. But this is Anfield, and we will go again. Anyway, in terms of the other ties. I'm really looking forward to Leverkusen at home, Avi. I think it'll be a brilliant tie.
Xabi they're my tip to win it.
Yeah, no, I remember you said that. I remember you saying
to win the Champions League.
Yeah, he tipped him to win
Why
it.
is there a problem? Is there a problem there?
There's
He
a
actually
massive
tipped him
problem.
to
They
win
have
it.
no chance to win this tournament.
Let's see. Let's see.
So I'm in terms of Leverkusen, that will be a really good tie. But look, the rest of them, Avi man, we go in. It's the Champions League. We go in confident. We expect to win every single game, and why not? We're Liverpool Football Club. It's Europe. We're a completely different kettle of fish. And I'm really happy with the draw as well. We've got some really as the San Siro away. That'll be another experience for the lads to go to the San Siro again. Obviously, I'm sure there's not many times left that Liverpool will be able to travel to that iconic stadium, because I'm sure they're moving away or it's going to get knocked down. So it'll be another chance to go to the San Siro. But I'm really happy with the draw and the thingy, and we go again.
Yeah. No, I think the Real Madrid. I think Leverkusen. I think the Leipzig tie is a good one for me. I think that's going to be an exciting tie. The talents that are coming throughout there, Xavi Simons, Lukeba, a player of interest. They're just going through a little revamp with Olmo going to Barcelona. The Lille PSV, PSV is a household name, always been in the Champions League, from the Dutch league. Exciting team, young. I think they won the league last season ahead of Slots Feyenoord. Lille, another batch in a club in France that produces youngsters. Eden Hazard. We had that conversation.
Is that Lille game home or away?
Lille game, I think, is away. I think it's away.
That'll be a good away game, man. That'll be actually.
I don't know if that's away or not. I don't remember.
That game it's at home. It's at home, that little game. And then Girona, question marks over
that's
the way.
City's team.
Sorry? See,
That's
yeah,
City's team.
yeah. That's why I said this. And Bologna, who I won't be the same without Thiago Motta, and they've obviously a few players have left. Bologna, Calafiori, Joshua Zirkzee. So let's see how Bologna fared. But that's a good try. Milan's always that romantic tie. I know we beat them a couple of seasons ago, wasn't it? 2-1 away and home. The home game was really good. They gave us a lot of trouble in the home side. But no, it's a good draw. Gina, 24 hours to go. And then this mayhem is over. Then it's back to calmness, back to football. Well, we've got a bloody international break, but back to football.
Oh, yeah, when we've got Man United.
Yeah, no, exactly. Once the United game is over, then we've got the international break. But this window, I like, before, many years ago, I didn't like that we couldn't buy players from September till January and then wait till January till May. I liked back in the day where it was, you could buy whoever you want mid-season, throughout the season, whatnot. But it's needed, isn't it? This break is needed because it's, the ITKs, the chances, the absolute bollocks that people are spouting, and then the clubs as well. I don't think they want to be involved throughout the year negotiating and whatnot.
We should be glad that we should be glad, Avi, that if we don't have this to contend with in the whole year round, because it'd send me bonkers, mate. To be honest, it'd send everybody bonkers. And you know what? Now at least it's done. We've gone the 24 hours. This time tomorrow it'll be done, and let's move on from it. I guess I just hope that we can do some sort of business, Avi, in the next day or two. Sorry, in the next day. If we can get one more in, it just gives you that huge boost going into that United game, especially with Chiesa. Too, you know what? Maybe we are slightly short, but it'll be good. I think we'll still be good enough to challenge for the title if we bring one more in. I still think we'll be there about if luck is on our side. But now, if we don't bring anybody in, Avi, we need luck. And then by that I mean no injuries and all that type of stuff. But if we do bring one more in, I think we're good to go. I think what we'll be like. Okay, Man City, you're the ones that we're chasing, mate. When we're ready to chase, I don't mention the other team because they're not the ones that we need to chase. Just the one.
Jake, back to you. Some solid points. Is it imperative that we make that one more signing in that midfield area? Is that the most crucial area that we've just got to address by tomorrow?
Is it the most crucial area? I mean, you can make an argument that midfield and or center back / left back, you can make an argument either way, but I do think that it's crucial that we get another player in, whether it's in the midfield or center back, left back. We're always talking about how we're constantly left short going into a season. The depth in midfield isn't good. I don't have confidence in Curtis Jones. I don't know if that's if everybody necessarily agrees with that. I know that's a hot topic, if you will, but I'm not confident in him playing as a backup 6 or as a backup to McAllister on the left side of the midfield. So when I take that into consideration, the only real backup that I have any confidence in is Harvey Elliott, and that's on the right side. So obviously Maka can play a 6 if need be. Nobody wants that to happen, but if it has to happen, then he can do that. I don't know who can back up Maka in that left-sided midfield role, because I don't have any confidence at all in Curtis Jones, and we haven't seen a very good version of him in the very, very, very limited time that we've seen him in this system. He hasn't been impressive in my opinion.
Well, he starts to show the previous years he started to show momentum. As soon as he shows momentum and he chips in with some goals, good positionally, pressing, he gets that injury. That's what we need to. That's what, hopefully that gets eliminated this season. I mean, he started off the season with an injury already, so that hasn't helped matters. But I don't think he can play the 6th role. Jake, he has played it in the under-19s and under-21s when they won the European Championships. But for Liverpool Football Club, we need more than that. You know, Curtis Jones' best work is done in that 8, not in that 6.
Maybe. I mean, what I think is very telling is that Slot gave him the first opportunity to play in that 6th position in preseason, and he didn't impress enough. And even before he was injured, he lost that role. So I'm not sure what the manager thinks of him at this point, because he's moved him out of that position. He's moved him into that left-sided midfield role, and we haven't seen a lot of him there because of this injury. So I'm not sure he has the confidence of the manager. He definitely doesn't have my confidence. Not that that means anything. But to answer your question, I'll take any signing at this point to strengthen us, because we have a hole in midfield. I'm okay with going into.
But what's an any signing? No, but Jake, what's an any signing? You can't say any signing. What's an any? Okay, say Varela doesn't happen. Who's next?
I don't know who's next, but I'll take any depth in the midfield. It doesn't even have to be a starter. I'm fine, which I've mentioned many, many times here.
Would you be happy with Tyler Morton staying? So then you're happy with Tyler Morton staying then? If you just want depth, and you said any, that word any, then you're happy with Tyler Morton staying then?
I probably would be if the club didn't show a desire to get rid of him. I think is telling. The club has shown that they're willing to let him go, which means that they don't think he fits. Whether he stays or not is a different story, because if you don't meet their asking price on a player, then they've shown that they won't sell him. They're not just going to sell somebody just to sell him, you know, even if they lose value on the player. So I think them hanging on to him really doesn't say much of anything, because I don't think that the manager or the club thinks he fits here. So no, I don't necessarily think that that works. But what I'm trying to say is, when I mean anything, is it doesn't necessarily have to be a player that walks in and walks into the starting 11. That's what I'm saying when I mean anything. A lot of people are in the comments on this show talking about they want a Wharton, or they want a Varela, or, you know, a 50, 60, 70, a Bruno, an 80 million pound player that's going to come in here and walk into the starting 11. I'm okay with Grab starting there. What I do want is some depth, whether it's at the 6th position or on the left side in midfield position, because I don't, as I keep saying, I don't have any confidence in Curtis Jones. Or another signing that I would be okay with is somebody to take Robertson's position in the starting 11 at the left back position. I would like somebody much more defensive oriented in that role to solidify our back line. So do I think we're going to get business done? If I'm being honest with you, I don't think so. But I would like for us to do business, of course, whether that's at left back or in the midfield.
Gina, Jake is alluding to a defender or a midfielder tomorrow.
Avi, I'll be honest. I can live with without a defender this year, man, because, you know, we've got Joe Gomez. Joe Gomez ain't going. He played in a few different areas. I know Jake's not a big fan of it, but Jake, for me, we need a 6. I've been crying out for this sort of a 6-stroke midfielder. I've been crying out for this position now for 3 or 4 years. 3 years ago, I was told, oh, there's no player in the world that was good enough that we could buy. Last year, yeah, we was Caicedo. We couldn't find the same player. We've changed the way we play now. We still can't find that player. I don't know where we're trying to find this player from, because every year it seems like we're looking for this player, and there's no player in world football that we
your
can
argument, Gene, when you say that, when we're looking for a destroyer as a 6 and there isn't one on the market, and now we're looking for a different type of 6 and there isn't one on the market, I'm being honest with you, it's a fabulous argument. It makes the most sense. I haven't heard anybody else talk about it. no matter what type of player we're looking for, it doesn't exist. So I mean,
This is what I'm trying to say.
What are we talking about?
This has always been my biggest issue, Jake. Okay, for 2 seasons that we couldn't find a destroyer, or they were more of a different type. Now we don't want a destroyer, we want a different type. We still can't find them. We're back to square one sort of thing, innit? But look, they've got, look, I'm still confident we bring one in. What in terms of what position that is, I don't really have a clue right now.
There
I
are
just-
conflicting reports coming out of Argentina today. This Luis Fregosi is supposed to have a lot of good intel. And I'm just reading actually David Cox's Ibs. If Ibs is the one that, bro, if that's it, bro. You thank you for tuning in.
Yes, bro. Big up, bro, man.
Yeah, I already asked that. I don't know why you.
Where has he tweeted?
I'm giving my prop.
Can I finish? Argentinian reporter Luis Fregosi has gone as far to say that Liverpool have made a bid for Alan Varela and he will be joining Alexis McAllister in the red. So, look, I don't know. This guy is supposed to have a lot of intel in Argentina. Just looking at his bio, he's a periodista, conductor, animator, relator. God knows. But let's just see if there's substance to that. Look, Alan Varela is a good footballer. He's not the Zubimendi, but he's definitely a cleanup in that 6th row. More Fabinho type, good range of passing.
He's good on the ball.
He's a good passer of the ball. He's not he can't get away from the lines like a Gravenberch who can seamlessly, take a dribble, take a run, get away from trouble. But he's a very good player. He's been very highly thought of in the last year. Gina should know. Gina's an Argentinian fan, and he stayed quiet for the whole show. Alan Varela, give us some knowledge.
I've said I've really liked him. Jake, me and you did a show on him when we mentioned them 5 midfielders. He was one that we said, you know what, we would take a Liverpool. Of granted that we wanted the likes of I wanted a Wharton over any other midfielder out there. But if right now you said to me take Alan Varela, of course I'll take him. I think he's a good footballer. He's good on the ball. He's a decent passer of the ball. He's got we've got a bit of energy about him as well. So I like him. Avi mentioned the Argentinian connection. Him and McAllister, it might work. But the thing is, look, I don't want to start talking about these players right now with 24 hours to go, Avi, when I don't even know. There's news that, we're not after him, that, Ghost has come out as well.
It's the way of the world. Liverpool, I tell you what, we are the best fans in the world because we're the only fan base that will track planes, we will track cruise ships, we'll track John Henry's yacht where it is, we'll track him down that he's in the Highlands in Scotland right now. It's a whiskey distillery having some whiskeys with his wife and his kids. We're the only fan base that will track everything. Look, today, Joshua Harvey.
Let me ask you guys one question first. Let's say we don't bring a player in. Let's say the window is closed now.
I'm not answering this question.
Yeah, answer the question. Can we survive until January in the title race to buy us that amount of time for us to bring a player in the January window for the run-in to the end of the season, or will we lose the title between now and then? Because we do like a January signing.
Look, I think to have that expectation, Jake, first and foremost, to say that we're in a title race in Cops.
I'm asking you if we can make it to January or not.
In Slot's first season. Okay, up until January, yeah, we should be there or thereabouts.
Okay.
I mean, if we're 5 points away from the top in January, then it's game on. Then from January to May, you do what you do in the business. You do business in January, basically. You give Slot something in January if you're 5 points away. If you're like 9 points away in January, where the title seemingly is going either to the Emirates or to Etihad, then you still do business in January, but you just make sure you're sort of, in that third, fourth, top four.
Risking risks again. We're sat there risking. Not taking the risk when we should have taken this.
We should.
Again, you're on mute.
We should be getting a player in. Listen, we should have done our business weeks ago, if you're being really honest.
Yeah, of course, we all want to play in now.
In another ideal world, Zubimendi would have been signed. Zubimendi, Chiesa, and Marmash Veli coming in next year, we wouldn't have complained. None of us three would have complained. Maybe another defender short. Okay, fair enough. Okay, but if we're really waiting for that exact player of that left centre back hybrid role, I'm willing to wait. But we should have got a midfielder in. There's more alternatives to Zubimendi. Okay, not like for like, but there's players out there who can fill that role. We will have left ourselves short, Jake. And whether Gravenberch is ready for a big game, like against the United, where at Old Trafford, where the atmosphere can get the better of you, where it's going to be a bit of torment. Whether he can play as well as he's been playing at Portman Road, at Ipswich, and Brentford at home, it's a different kettle of fish. After that, we haven't got another 6. Elliot cannot play that role. Szoboszlai cannot really play that role. Jones at a stretch can do an okay job. You're relying on McAllister again to be that 6.
Endo's
and his best work is done at 8. Endo, but most of us have written off Endo. He was on the verge of joining Marseille a couple of weeks ago. If it wasn't of the difference of
not playing ahead of McAllister in that position,
€1 million or €2 million. So we can get to January definitely with this squad. I think we have a great squad. Klopp did leave a great squad for Klopp to take over. That's why we only need 2 or 3 tweaks, but those 2 and 3 tweaks should have been done, and it hasn't been done. Chiesa is a great signing. I hope it really works out for him. But we had far more important areas that should have been addressed. Midfield is one of them, and a defender was one of them.
Thanks for answering my question, even though you said you wouldn't. I appreciate that.
Of course, anything. I'll do anything for you, darling. Gina?
Look, I'll give my piece on this, man. I think I'm done. I'm just like, now, honestly, man, I think that bloody Varela news has sent me a bit sideways. If I'm honest with you, I just want
when it happens,
I just want a new flipping player to come through, man. You've got 24. Honestly, I just want that. Come on, man. We deserve one more. We deserve this. We deserve another.
Big up Matomi Trevor, who's become a YouTube member of the channel. So thank you, sir.
If we sign an Italian and an Argentine in this window, Chi's buying a huge jersey. I promise.
No, you know what he's gonna do? You know what this guy's capable of doing in Turkey? He'll get those fakes. He'll cut them in half seam, half Argentinian, half Italy. You've seen them. Some people wear the half United and Liverpool tops as well. He's gonna do that.
Matomi,
I'm giving you the biggest big up. I'm gonna give you the biggest not big up because FSG. Come on, let's behave a little bit. Yeah, let's behave a little bit in there. Ibs, I totally agree. We need a body. Just a few comments, guys. Plane tracking and all. There's one from Cripson Kopai. I would always address people that come for me. Abby, how's the weather in John's backside?
That's actually quite funny.
Thank you for tuning in, Cripson Kopai. But I don't know how to answer that question. But the weather has been lovely wherever I've been in London and back in California. So thank you so much. Cathal Robinson, never seen a player in his first interview look as happy as Chiesa did. Yeah, fair point. Mickey M, LFC private jet with the fucking private plate as well, landing in Porto right now. Flight Trader 24. I don't know whether he's trolling us or not. Joshua Harvey, thank you for tuning in.
Plate. That's not the plate, man. That's the flight number.
Joshua Harvey, a jet left Liverpool at 9:30 p.m. this evening to Porto. Honestly, it does deter you. Shall we chat? Shall we give the chat something to sleep on? Here we go. Go on then, Asim. Give us your information if you have any. Asim, we're gonna wait for Asim now, guys. Matomi Trevor, guys, if we are not signing a DM now, who do we sign if Zubimendi rejects us and goes elsewhere? I feel like we are wasting time waiting for this perfect player. Oh, I agree. We should have had alternatives. Jack Wallace, lads, we need a CDM for 3 years now. Left centre back to me isn't that big of an issue yet. Winger backup is nice. Trent, VVD, Salah contracts are the issue. FSG will not spend to replace them. Fair enough.
We'll have to wait and see.
Will there be an inquest tomorrow, Gene, if we've shut up and shop? Basically, business is closed as of today. There's a huge inquest going on, isn't there?
Look, come tomorrow after this window closes, we've only got Chiesa in. There's massive problems in terms of Liverpool, in terms of upstairs. The team might be okay right now for this next year, might get away with it, but we have some major issues coming. We've got 3 of the captain, vice captain, and best player, all contracts up for renewal. They've not really been shown the ambition from the club that they're ready to go for the next few seasons. When you've only signed Chiesa, there are holes in this team that Van Dijk, Trent, everybody knows that still haven't been addressed. And this should have been addressed. We've got approximately net spend of plus 60 million pound sat in our bank account, which we didn't spend. And don't give me this crap that there was no money, man. Look, but I want to save all of this, Savvy, right now for tomorrow
Yeah,
night.
save the meltdown for another time.
Yeah, exactly. Save it for tomorrow night, man. I don't want to flipping. What's the
Any more
point?
of your
Tomorrow
meltdown.
morning, I might be
Good
jumping,
news.
joicing FSG in, and if they go and pull off a mad one, so maybe leave that for another day.
No problem. A lot of people saying that a private jet has left from Porto to Liverpool today, or Liverpool to Porto. So God knows. Bonkers LFC, I think he's just reiterating. Yeah, David Cup, you already addressed that. Laugh on. Mickey M. So seemingly coming back for me again. Laugh on, plane landed. We will see. Fadi. So I've got to apologize to Fadi. Actually, Fadi went to meet at Anfield. He wanted my autograph. Unfortunately, I couldn't see him. So I'll give you a salute for this. Asim, give us some news, bro. We're thirsty. We are thirsty. I don't know why Asim plays these games as if he's a fucking ITK. He's living in my world, please, yeah. Cameron, thank you very much. We still have some staunch supporters of the ownership, FSG for life. Thank you very much. Mr. Sinclair is saying leopards don't change their spots. True. Everyone's calling for Asim now. Matomi Trevor, because you'll become a member, you will get your comments spoken. Richard Hughes has been a disaster, if you ask me. Well, we will be addressing all these questions and queries tomorrow. I believe there is a show. I think Asim is back. I think Sarib is back. I think the boys are back. I will be off tomorrow. Ash as well. Hughes is on an easy jet flight. Ignore those private jets. Guys,
that's been used to be there. That's fine.
That has been born and read. 2 wins out of 2. But look, the talk of the town is transfers. We hope that Liverpool do conclude some business tomorrow. I think it's needed. Asim text Avi.
Was he text you?
He did text me, and it's up to him. So he wants me to be the fall guy. I will read what Asim has said.
He probably just changed the diaper and he wanted to let you know.
Asim has told me what he has said, but I'm gonna change it.
Change it.
I'm going to change it a little bit. I'm going to change it a little bit to say Liverpool Football Club will be signing a midfielder tomorrow evening. Thank you so much. Guys, this has been Born and Red. Over and out. Make sure you've liked and subscribed. Love you all. Love to the people. Love to the IK. Love to the chances. Liverpool Football Club will make a signing tomorrow. Thank you so much.